get this up and running. So we are on page 127. Now, everything is kind of written for you there, so I would suggest you have a separate sheet of paper because we're going to do this like from scratch. So I'm going to kind of go over to the side. This is page 127. If you need scrap paper, don't forget there is a bin at the back with blank paper. All right, so just before we go into an example, for this particular worksheet, you will be allowed to refer to this table, okay? Which is mostly stuff that you have learned already. We've learned liters, meters, moles, and Kelvin, kilograms, and seconds. The only ones that we have not learned are the coulombs. And you do not need to know coulombs for chemistry 11, but they will be used on this worksheet, so I've included them in the table. So far, so good? Okay. And this is basically about combining, solving the equation with, and you don't have to write this down, so we're combining solve the equation with units. Okay, so that's what we're up to, and now we're going to do an example. So density. Does anyone remember the density formula? See if you can tell your partner how you would calculate density. Density is equal to something over something else. What goes on the top? Anyone? Mass, yes. And on the bottom goes volume. So we can take this formula and instead of writing out all the words, density equals mass over volume, we can of course write density equals m over v. Okay. We are now going to take this equation and just by way of a very quick review, we are going to solve for m. Okay, so you're going to solve for m and you are going to solve for v. So just take a moment to do that and then check with your partner to see if you got the same answer as they did. Yes, I know it's written right on the page. Don't look at the page. Okay? So I'm going to give you some choices for m. Is m d over v? Is m v over d? Or is m v times d? It is the last one, v times d. Or is there another way to write that? M is equal to D times V. Either way, it doesn't matter. The order just does not matter. Okay, D times V. So that's good. Volume equals, and again, I'm going to give you some choices. We are going to give you volume equals D over M, volume equals M over D, or volume equals M times D. Which one of those is correct? First, second, or third? B, M over D. Okay, now let's say that you found that challenging or you had to think about it hard. If you found that challenging or you got it wrong or you have to think about it hard, there's extra practice 1.7b. All right, if you found it easy, then don't worry about it, don't do it. Just if you found it challenging, 1.7b would be the thing to do. So that's the first part, and the equations will get progressively a little more complicated, all right? But the other part to this is we are going to say, find the unit for density. And in order to do that, we're going to write the formula for density. D equals M over V. So here we have the formula. And then what we're going to do is, in place of M mass, we're going to substitute in the unit for mass and the unit for volume. Okay, so what is the unit for mass? Kilograms. So we're going to put in kilograms. And what is the unit for volume? Liters. And that means that the unit for density is kilograms per liter. So kilograms per liter is a combination of two units. It's a combination of units. Does anyone remember what we call a combination of units? And if you're wondering what IE stands for, it is from the Latin id est. Okay, so if you ever see IE and you're like, I don't know what that means, it's from the Latin it is, essentially, or that is, which means in other words. So if you ever want to say in other words really quickly, you can write IE, id est. It doesn't have to be written like that, it can just be written IE. Kilograms per liter is a something or other unit because it is a combination of units. We can say that it is a something or other unit. Derived, yes. So if we have a unit that is a combination of two or more units, it is called a derived unit. Okay, so a derived unit is a combination of units. So what we will be finding in this worksheet, we will be finding a bunch of derived units, okay, in addition to solving the equations. Let's do one more example so that you feel like you can carry on with this. All right. Give you a minute to get that down. All right, we have another formula here. I is equal to Q over T, okay? And I is current. So this is electrical current. You may have come across that in Science 9. You may have come across it in physics. Okay, I stands for current. Hopefully you know what T stands for. What is little t? Time. If you don't know Q, Q is actually given. Oh, that was not what I wanted to happen. Come back. There we go. Q is given over here. Oh, not there. Why is it not given there? Oh, that's okay. It's on the first page. Q is given here. So we have Q is the symbol for charge, and it is measured in coulombs, for which the unit is C. Okay, so we'll come back to that in just a moment. Okay, so for now, what we're going to do is we're going to take this equation and we are going to A, solve for Q. B, we are going to solve for T. And then C, we are going to find the unit for current. So try solving for Q, solving for T, check with the people next to you to see if they get the same answer as you do. Okay? So if you have forgotten how to solve equations, remember you can move things which direction? Straight across or diagonally? You can move things diagonally across the equal sign. So if I'm solving for q, I will want to get rid of the t, so I can move the t, remember there's a line here that we don't necessarily see, I can move it diagonally up there, so I have q is equal to I times t. I could just as easily write that as q is equal to t times I, either way is good. Now, solving for t, I equals q over t. Remember, in step 1 of solving an equation, you need to make sure that t is on the top, and then t is by itself, and then make sure that t is on the left. So right now, our biggest problem is that t is not on the top, it is on the bottom. But we can move it diagonally across the equal sign up here. So we have t times I equals q. Okay. And now our second problem is that t is not by itself, so we need to get rid of the I. And remember, you can draw little lines there to remind yourself there is a place for a denominator, and we can take our I and move it down to the bottom. So we end up with t is equal to q over I. Should have written it over here. Do you have to show your work for this? No. Okay, if you can do that in your head, that's perfectly good. Okay, if you find algebra quite easy, you probably can do it in your head, and you should just go ahead with that. Okay, if you find it helpful to draw your little arrows, please feel free to do it. If you have some other method of solving it, like, sometimes you multiply both sides by this, or you divide both sides by that, and you want to do it that way, that's also perfectly good. Whatever gets you to the correct answer at the end. Like I said, if any of that was challenging, then you might want to practice on 1.7b. And if you need to, you can come and see me during flex time. Okay? Now, lastly but not leastly, we want to find the unit for current. So what we're going to do first is we're going to write the formula. I is equal to q over t. And then the second thing we're going to do is we are going to substitute the units. Substitute the units for the quantities. Substitute in the units. So in place of Q, which stands for charge, we're going to go find the unit for charge. And if we've forgotten, the unit for charge is the Coulomb C. So let's go plug that in. Coulomb per, and then we substitute in the unit for time, T. And the unit for time is the seconds, so we write S. So the unit of current is C over S, which is coulombs per second. And so you'll be starting off with some examples of things that are quite straightforward, and then you'll be going into some more complicated formulas. So that will be pages 127 to 129. How many of you noted that there was a quiz next week on Tuesday? Okay, if you did not notice, there is a quiz next week on Tuesday, and let's find out what it is on, because this is going to be practice for Tuesday's quiz. Now, Monday, we're going to actually do some more physical practicing of, what am I trying to say? So physical practicing of measuring using the balances. So, you know, if you're working with the pretend balance questions today and you're finding it a little confusing, hopefully that'll clear it up on Monday. So, upcoming quizzes and tests, click on that. And you can see it tells you everything about this quiz. There's a quiz on making measurements. It tells you be sure to include what you are measuring, one uncertain digit and the unit. When block 2 was working on this, I noticed a lot of people were not writing down what they were measuring. Be sure to get in the habit of that, because remember, there's 3 marks, one for what you're measuring, one for the number, and one for the unit. And if you forget this one, now you're getting 2 out of 3, and that's only 67%, and that's not such a happy percentage, right? Okay. You will be asked to give the number of sig figs for the measurement. You will be asked to record an initial and a final measurement and do the subtraction, just like we did yesterday with the burette. And for enriched credit, you can name the measuring devices, and if you wish to, record the uncertainties in the measurement. That would be for enriched credit. And if you're brand new, we have like little things that are just kind of like, you can get a bonus for it. It doesn't count against you if you don't do it. Okay? Yeah. All right, so that's it. So I'm going to let you work on these for now. And then finally, your homework for the weekend, if you finishing up any of these, finish up your visual dictionary to the best of your ability, okay? Because next week we'll have other things to learn. Your test is not next week, it will be the following week. Next week there's going to be a couple of quizzes, a lab, and then our test the following week. Okay? Yes? I'm going to add in, there's going to be stuff like on the one thing that you won't have had a quiz on is like all the different types of particles and solutions, and homogeneous mixtures, heterogeneous mixtures, that kind of thing. So you won't have had a quiz on that. So that would be a section where you would, it would look like a quiz because you have that. So that would be what you're doing. Does that make sense? Yeah. Did that answer your question? Cool. Excellent. How you doing? I almost didn't recognize you without your glasses. I was like, who's Jonathan? Oh, I wanted to let you guys know there is 2 mistakes in the workbook. On page 128, number 3, it should say for part B, use the unit of acceleration from 2b. It says from 1b. Okay, you won't find acceleration in 1b, you'll find it in 2b. And then later on, when you're doing the making measurements, page 80, number 2H should say the mass of the salt solution, not the mass of the water. Okay? I will also post those corrections on Teams, but I'll leave them up here as well. So if you come across something and you're confused, maybe take a look up here and see if it was one of those mistakes. Okay? I'll be right with you. I'm just going to do one thing and then I'll be there. Okay?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hi, Diane. You're good. You're not there.
I think it's really funny. I was looking on the teams and I thought it was hilarious how you have that one panel for people to come into Flex. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's because it's like, okay, I just marked their quiz, and I'm like, probably you'll want to like come by and get a little extra help.
Take retest for this sig figs on Monday.
Yes, definitely. See you later.